Hello, Hammers Poles. It's Adam here from West Ham's Why We Drink podcast. I'm sure you know that by now. You're used to seeing my face in some of the other videos and hearing my nonsense. So I apologise in advance for this preview of the West Ham Arsenal game. I'll give it my best shot, but as normal, I'm underprepared. I know little, and I will try and blag my way through this and be a little bit entertaining if I can. I think it's probably the worst time that we could possibly be playing Arsenal. They're on the best form that they've had all season. They did just lose to Olympiacos, but they're already through. They had a 2-goal lead. It wasn't a game that they really chased. But before that, they obviously beat Tottenham 2-1, and then they beat Olympiacos away 3-1. They had a 3-1 win at Leicester as well. And so they're coming into this game with a bit of confidence, which is worrying. Us, on the other hand, are coming into this after a few, either not good results or not good performances. We had Man City where we had a great performance but not a good result. Leeds where we had not a great performance but a great result. And then Man United when we had a poor performance and a poor result. So I'm really hoping that it's time for a good performance with a good result. And that's what I'm expecting in this game. I am 100% sure that we will see Noble dropped back to the bench and Jesse Lingard will come back in. With his England call-up, he's going to be the man to watch, I think. I will be surprised if he doesn't score. And then it's going to be, I don't know, who knows who else he'll go with. I mean, the back is pretty straightforward now. We're going to get, Fabianski, Soufal, Dawson. I expect Diop and then Cresswell, Souček and Rice. And it all comes down to that front four. I think that we will start probably Benrahma, Lingard, Pablo Fornals and Antonio. That's going to be my guess. Moyes likes to play lately. These guys keep on rotating, which I like to see. But I think that with the return of Lingard to the lineup, that we're going to be too strong for Arsenal. They've got a couple of key players that we need to be aware of. They've got a lot of youngsters with a lot of promise. A lot of my Arsenal fan friends have told me a lot about, both Odegaard, Rowe and Saka, who are they're Lingard, Fornals, and Benrahma or Bowen, whoever starts. And I expect that we'll see Aubameyang, I can't say his name. I don't know why I bother trying. I can't say anyone's name usually. But I really do think, even though Arsenal are on a good run of form, that we will be too much for him. I expect it to be actually fairly comfortable. 3-1 maybe. I think 2-0 or 3-1. But it's a really big game for us. And not because it's a London derby, but if we are going to push for the Champions League, this is one of the last, one of the last few hurdles that we're going to face. We're at home, which I think will help. Not as much as usual because we don't have fans. But we don't have a good result like history against Arsenal. Traditionally, they beat us a lot more than we beat them. They've actually completed the double over us more than any other side in the Premier League, 11 times. And we've lost more games to Arsenal than we've lost to anyone else as well. So although the stats aren't in our favour, I really do think the way that we're playing overall in the season and the quality we've got compared to Arsenal, who have really looked a shadow of themselves, I think it's just going to be too much. I hope I'm right. I've put a fair amount of money on this with every Arsenal fan that I know. I'm that confident. In fact, I'm so confident that I bet an Arsenal fan if they can score 3 goals against us, because this guy predicted it's going to be 3-0 to Arsenal. I said, if Arsenal can score 3 goals against us, I'll get a cannon put into my head. But if West Ham score 3 goals, he's going to put the irons in his head. So I'm going 3-1 to West Ham. I hope we win. Thanks for watching. Sorry if it's been boring and dull and I haven't been that entertaining. Like I said, I didn't really prepare this enough. I apologise. But stay positive, like my shirt says. Love your lives. And we'll see you soon. Come on, you Irons.
Hi guys, Tom Canton here from the Gooner Talk, doing a preview ahead of Arsenal's match with West Ham from the Gunners' perspective. It's been a very indifferent season, it's fair to say, and Arsenal have struggled whilst yourselves have been doing exceptionally well, and actually have been a team which have kind of brought into question Arteta a lot, because many Arsenal fans have looked to West Ham and said, well, on paper Arsenal have a much more superior squad. Why is it that they are where they are, and why are West Ham doing so well? My reasoning for that is I think that Arsenal is kind of a put together squad of 3 different coaches so far, and West Ham has been actually quite well sculpted, which is amazing what happens when a few good signings are made. Kufal Soucek have been absolutely brilliant for yourselves, and Lingard's come in and smashed it as well. Just really good signings being made from within England. You've had success with Antonio coming from Forest and Jarrod Bowen coming from Hull, and Ben Rama, of course, joining from Brentford too. It's something that I'm envious of, because I think it's something that Arsenal need to do more of, and that ultimately has led to a position where under David Moyes you've managed to put a really good run of form together and do fantastically well this season, and it'll be interesting to see where West Ham ultimately finish up. But as we go into this game, it's an absolutely huge game for ourselves. Losing last week, West Ham was opening the door ever so slightly for other sides to push themselves further up the table, and should West Ham lose this game and get 6 points dropped in 2 weeks, it could cause a little bit of maybe a downward slope for yourselves, which you'll want to arrest as soon as possible. For Arsenal, off the back of the North London derby win, confidence was exceptionally high, and going through in the Europa League to the last 8, despite losing of course on Thursday, will only have, hopefully anyway, improved the confidence. In regards to kind of a predicted lineup, it's going to be very similar, if not the same, to the same team that played against Spurs. If Saka is fit, we're expected him to be not too badly damaged from the game against Spurs. It was only a tight hamstring and taken off precautionarily. So we're expecting him to be back, in which case it'll be Leno. Cedric will be back on the right-hand side over Bellerin, Luiz, Gabriel, Tierney to make up the back 4, Partey, Xhaka at the base of the midfield, and then a front 4 of Bukayo Saka, if not be Nicolas Pepe, behind Alexandre Lacazette, who I expect to take his same striking spot after Aubameyang came in on Thursday and missed an absolute glut of chances. So I expect Lacazette to come back in. Emile Smith-Rowe will take up the left-hand flank, and Martin Odegaard will be playing at number 10. And that will be a really big, tough test this week for Kufal on your right-hand side, to deal with kind of Odegaard and Emile Smith-Rowe interchanging, playing fluidly, and making those key interceptions and runs where possible, breaking between the lines, finding the cutting passes between the defensive lines as well, is going to be massive. And if you can stop that, you'll stop Arsenal, because Arsenal are all about width at the moment, trying to get those passes into the bylines and drawing those players out to then make low-driven crosses to their forwards, which hopefully, if our trend of really poor chance taking continues, we're not going to get anything, but hopefully that does change, and hopefully we'll see Arsenal take some of their really big key chances, which just haven't gone our way ultimately. Tactics-wise, as I've said, it's all about getting the wide areas into play. It's about using those central midfield pivot of Partey and Xhaka to enable those wide areas, get the fullbacks high up as far as possible and overlap with our wingers. Saka, of course, loves to cut inside onto his left, and you've got Tierney on the left-hand side who loves to overlap the left winger, which in this case would probably be Emile Smith-Rowe, who can then invert the passes in behind for him to get to the byline and cut them back for Lacazette or Odegaard, as he did against Spurs, which caused the equaliser, of course. Arsenal love to try and get into the box as much as possible, and Odegaard will be massively key for us should he start the game. It's going to be a really close one, I think, even though we're playing, of course, at your ground. Arsenal have not had the best of time at home this season, and the away ground could actually come into Arsenal's favour a bit this season. Without fans, not that necessarily that's been an excuse for Arsenal this season, it just means that it hasn't really mattered, and home form has gone a little bit out the window and has cost us in the first half of the season. We did manage to beat yourselves really early on before the really horrific run started, and that was very fortunately with a Ceballos cross for an Nketiah goal, which is not what I expect to see on Sunday. I don't expect either of those 2 players to feature, if at all, during the game. So we've improved a lot since then. We've really turned our form since Boxing Day, and Arsenal are on a bit of a high, having reached the last day and seen our mutual enemies Spurs drop out of the Europa League too, which I'm sure you enjoyed just as much as we did. I'm not going to wish you luck, of course, but I do wish you the best of fun and enjoying the game as much as possible. Hoping for an Arsenal win. I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory because I'm always the optimist, but it's a pleasure to be on the channel. I wish the best of luck for the rest of the season and I hope for a strong finish above Spurs, of course, for both of ourselves. See you soon.
For West Ham fans everywhere, this is the ultimate football app for you. Never miss a thing with the latest West Ham news, gossip and social stories as they break. Download the free COY Irons app now from the App Store and Google Play.